That way we keep our bumper gear in service for the big one. So feel free to grab extra gloves, fill your pockets up with extra gloves, maybe throw an extra N95 in these pockets and stuff. This kit here will be what we don when we know we've got a confirmed COVID case. So what's kind of been happening behind the scenes is the chief has been in communication with, you'll have to help me on this, it's called CAC, whatever that stands for, Central, what? What's CAC?
Central Ambulance Communications Center.
Sounds good, sounds professional. So that's generally where EMS or ambulances are dispatched from. So that dispatch agency, CAC, they have COVID screening that they do, and our own sound dispatch has a COVID screening that they do. Everybody's supposed to kind of relay the information to one another, but we've had 3 calls since this has all kind of happened. One was a COVID confirmed negative call, the other one was a COVID inconclusive, and this morning's call, it was the chief that asked whether or not it had been screened.
That was the same patient from last week.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, I recognize, yeah.
One unconclusive and one didn't even ask for the same person.
Yeah, so, if I hadn't been in the shower, it could have been me saying, I could have sent a text, but you were there, right? So Rob would have known it was inconclusive. What I'm saying with that is, and I'll just speak here, I think can we like add benchmarks? Can we like add a benchmark to our calls?
Whatever you like.
Okay, so I think that we need to benchmark that as a call. So if we're going to a medical and EMS isn't there, I think we need to benchmark that we've screened for COVID, that it's either negative, it's either positive, or maybe it's inconclusive. Hopefully we can do negative or positive. That way dispatch on their end should be notifying CAC if the ambulance isn't already on scene. Does that make sense? Okay. We'll get into the whole screening and stuff after we get our PPE up. So, or no, we can talk a little bit about it now. Is there any questions or any confusion about the information that I was relaying in terms of responding to a call like this? So we're clear that only one person is going to enter the house, and one person is going to perform the COVID screening. Right? So let's go around. What was one of the questions for the COVID screening?
Do you have any onset cough or fever? No, onset cough.
Yep. Chloe?
If you've traveled outside of Canada.
Perfect. Hi.
If you've been tested and found positive or suggested to go into isolation or public health.
Perfect.
Have you been in contact with anybody who's been out of the country for the last 14 days and has a respiratory?
Right. That's good. There's a couple more.
You're out of the country?
Out of the country, yeah. Have you decided to go into self-isolation because you've been out of the country or you think you've come in contact? So those are kind of like the big questions that we need to ask when we get in there. And then that single firefighter who's doing that assessment, once they've got that information, they need to relay it to outside where the radio's going to stay. We're not going to take any radios into the house or into the residence where we're responding to. We'll try and keep those outside, just avoiding contaminating our equipment is the whole idea behind this.
Jeremy, is there merit in creating a pocket-sized laminated card that has the question?
What do you guys think about that? Would that be pretty
great.
beneficial?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll do it tonight and make sure it's running everybody's fun. Train of thought.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Radios.
What's that?
Radios.
Radios. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna try radios in all of our equipment. We try and minimize taking it in unless we absolutely need to. So if we're able to obtain that information from a patient or a person that we've responded to, they can clearly talk to us and answer all these questions. That's pretty much all we need to do. There's nothing else that we're going to do at our level that is going to benefit that person other than to monitor and let them know that help's on their way. We're here. We're just waiting for paramedics. We don't need to go any closer. We can stand in the doorway. We can stand in the hallway. If it's a person in the living room, distance, right? Distance is the key. If we get into the house and the person's unresponsive, we can try and obtain that information from a family member or somebody else is in the house. If that's not it, then we need to approach the person to do an assessment to check ABCs, AVPU possibly. So some other things that weren't really written into the protocol, but I think we can just discuss them to try and help you guys recognize things on the scene, would be if somebody's experiencing some kind of respiratory illness, what would we see in the house?
Oxygen.
There could be oxygen, it could be somebody with COPD with oxygen. What else might we see?
Piles of inhalers.
Puffers, inhalers, what was, anything else? A lot of the times people that are experiencing a respiratory illness, think of yourself, right? You're carrying around a box of Kleenex, you got a garbage bag full of used tissues and stuff like that. There might be some over-the-counter medication on night-side tables or in bathrooms. We can try and find some of this information if we can't verbally obtain it. And when in doubt, just assume, always assume that it's present and there's a risk. And then if it's a COVID positive case, we're only ever going to have one firefighter working. So this one firefighter is going to be working on CPR to the best of their ability. It's one firefighter who's going to be delivering air or oxygen or setting up the defib. We're only going to ever expose one person to it. Okay? I know situations change. That would be our best protocol, is to only ever have one person exposed. Okay? Questions or anything? Yeah, I have utmost confidence in everybody here that they'll follow through with that and they will weigh the risks and the benefits when you're in there doing a patient assessment for sure. So here's your kits. We've labeled the kits and kind of numbered them so we can kind of keep track if we need to for anything like that. The kit that I have is the screener's kit. We'll go over that at the end of the night. So it's going to be a little bit different than yours, but if you pop down and look at it, the first couple things you should be able to pull out are a pair of booties. And we'd be doing this all out the side of 319 or out the back of 310, right? And we're going to use this, we're just going to go through and we're going to put everything on. Put our booties on. Next thing you'll see in there is your N95. Okay, wait. So we got a limited supply of N95s. Does everybody have an N95 in their bunk? If they have an N95 in their bunk or their bunker gear, can you go grab it? We'll use that one for tonight. Then from there, you can put on your safety goggles. Some of you might already notice that the safety goggles start fogging. Live with it, okay? After the safety goggles are on, you can grab your gown. These are an over-the-head type gown. So you just gotta find the area where your head's gonna pop through. Pop it through over top of your PPE. Arms in through the armhole. You gotta be a little bit delicate because they can tear easily. And then at the end of your wrist, or at the end of the arm, there's a thumb hole. So you gotta make sure you put your thumbs in the thumb hole as well too. And then just tie around the back. No fancy knots, doesn't have to be a clove hitch or a figure eight or anything, just a couple knots. In the kits, and what I'll try and do, or when we try and rebuild these kits after they're used, there's always going to be a pair of purple gloves and a pair of blue gloves. Blue are large, purple are extra large. So you can go for one of them, and they're all long cuff gloves, so they go right up the arm, and they cover the wrist and the cuff of the gown very good. You can put both pairs on if you want. I'm a double glover sometimes.
How many kids do you have?
What's that? What? I'm a double. Oh dear. Paw wipes, mine fell in the bottom, so I missed them. Your paw wipes are to wipe. You take one paw wipe to wipe your hands before you put your gloves on. Especially if you got a little bit of nerve shakes and stuff like that, a little bit of moisture that you put on the gloves will help them slide on a little bit easier. And then you save one paw wipe for afterwards. But when we set up the clean station, you'll see there's a lot more. And from there, we're as protected right now as we're going to be. We've got on order some hair caps so that we can cover our heads, because this is the last bit that we've left exposed, but they're on order. But when we pack these up for the end of the night, Chief, can you grab me a booty? Yeah. Oh, you got an extra booty right there? I was going to say, just until those come in, I think these will work. So we'll make sure by the end of the night we put one-third one of these into the kits, so that at least until the actual ones come, we've got something to protect our hair. Our hair is a place where droplets are going to land, and once we're all decon, how many people have kind of brushed their hair through, if you got hair? How many people have like brushed their hand through their hair, or something like that? Or I kind of look a little bit more at Chloe because she's got long hair and she's more likely to, you know, fix a braid or fix a ponytail or something like that. So here we are. We are full PPE for our COVID response team. Any questions? Okay, so let's talk about what are some risks with this PPE. What are some things we got to be aware of?
And tear?
Tear. We've got, we got to be aware of a tear. So that's why we've got our wildland gear underneath. So we've actually got 2 layers on. So even if it gets hot and we're doing this in the springtime, or heaven forbid late into the summer, let's try and always maintain both sets of gear so that we have that dual layer of protection. What are some other things? What happens is I'm sitting here talking, what's my mask doing? It's moving, and we get that urge to want to fix it, right? We can't. We gotta resist those urges to put our fingers or our hands anywhere near our face. If our goggles are fogging up, our goggles are fogging up. We cannot touch our faces. That's probably the number one way that we are going to kind of expose ourselves to this virus, is by touching our face. That's the main risk, making sure that we keep our hands away from our face. Okay, even, you know, you can try and do little things like this, but then you run the risk of opening up the sides and stuff. So, any questions? Okay, everybody looks pretty good. So we'll walk around and we'll show everybody where kind of the next steps would be when we've gone into the residence, we've cared for the person, and then now we're either we're released from scene. So now we've got to decon, get back in the truck, and head back. So at this point, we would have what we call the clean person. Okay, so a clean person is somebody that's never going to go really near the house other than to drop off some of our equipment. And at most, they should have, well, at least, how do I say this? They need to have gloves on. Any medical call will always have gloves on, no matter what person and what their assigned task is. Just always make sure you have gloves on. We want to eliminate that cross-contamination potential. So the clean person, all of the stuff that they have to work with is going to be found in this side of this tent. So So we've got biohazard bags. So this is what I envisioned the clean person doing. The clean person's on scene. They're gonna grab this roll of red tape. Gonna grab a biohazard bag. Gonna grab our package of paw wipes. Gonna grab our thing of hand sanitizer.
We'll put another one in there.
Okay. And then from there, if we walk back to 319. These doors would be left closed. And then from there, we would have just the decon area set up. Have some paw wipes out. We have the bag kind of stuck in a place where we can get all our stuff in it. Or maybe just straight on the ground. And then from there, the clean decontamination is kind of set up and we're ready to decon. Okay, any questions or anything so far? Everybody see anything that I missed or anything? No?
So just what Jeremy's saying, see anything that I missed, you know, before somebody goes in, it's kind of like when we go to a fire, right, you're really supposed to check to make sure that your PPE is all on, done up properly, there's no exposed skin. Somebody should look at the one person going in, confirm that everything's on properly before they go in, and then obviously the other three, if they're shooting up the same way.
So then, now to remove everything, what we can start with, once we're outside, we can start with removing our booties. Those can just be pulled off. We want to make sure that we take our booties and fold them inside out, inside themselves like that, so that we've completely kind of encapsulated them inside themselves. Those that go in there. The next thing that we want to do is start to remove our gloves. So I've got 2 layers on. So I take my one glove off, ensure that I keep it in my hand like this. Go in underneath my other glove, pull it off. That's my one set. I need to take my second set of gloves off. So it's the same way. I'm going to pull the glove off, pull it into my hand like that. I reach around the back of my wrist and just grab the little wee tiny edge of that glove and pull it off inside itself like that, straight into the bag. Then from there we can reach around to the back of our gowns. You can untie it, you can rip it, doesn't matter. But remember, these were over the head, okay? So we're not going to pull them back over the head, we're just going to grab them up here, pull them straight off. And then try and roll them up best we can. We can pull them off slower the better, so that way we don't kind of release any droplets that might be on us up into the air or around our face. Now that part's done. Before I do anything else, I'm going to do a hand sanitizer, or I'm going to do my hand hygiene. Once you put, what did it say in my protocol about hand hygiene? Once you squirt it on your hands, what are you going to do?
Keep going until it's dry.
Keep going until it's dry. So now that I'm dealing with my my face area, I'm going to take off this first. Slowly. I could have contaminants on it. Hand hygiene again. Like that. Okay? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to want to lean forward. Once my hand hygiene's dry, grab the back of my safety goggles like this and just pull them straight down and away, and they're going to go on. I forgot one thing as the clean person, but we'll touch on it a little bit later. So my safety goggles are off. Hand hygiene again. Every time you're gonna go to your face, you're always gonna go to the hand hygiene first. Then you're gonna lean forward again, you're gonna grab the strap that's on your neck, lift it over your head slowly, let it hang down, keeping your eyes closed the whole entire time, then grab the strap around the top of your head, pull the mask to your head with that strap, and then down slowly and let it fall away. And then it goes into the biohazard bag, hand hygiene. Okay? Once we're done that, this is gonna come off. If there hasn't been any big soiling or contaminant, and you're not concerned about your underlayer, then you're good at that point. So this will come off before we ride back in the truck. You can wear your boots back in. I've touched all that gear again. Head hand hygiene one more time. The trauma bag, we can use it on, again, that blood pressure cuff. We can use it on the pulse oximeter. Any tools that are inside that trauma bag, we can use that on for cleaning. The last point I have about this is I've marked it so that we can, anybody here can replenish it. The bleach is just on the top shelf there, so you just want to put bleach into this bottom line right here, and then fill it up to this water fill line right here, and you're good to reuse it, or you're good to fill it up and continue on like that. So that's our 2 cleaners. We do have a medical grade cleaner that's on order and coming in, and it will be like wipes that you pull out of like those Lysol wipes, but they're medical grade. So we'll bring those into service once they come. So that would be it for cleaner. Questions?
So Jeremy, what we covered right now is specific to tiered networks, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of other calls that we could respond to where paramedics
Haven't been responded, or haven't been called at all.
there's no way to advise. So using a activated smoke alarm.
Yep.
Right? What would you recommend as far as PPE and
An activated smoke alarm. So we kind of get into an area that's every situation will be different. But I think the key to determining how we would move forward on a call like that is ensuring that we use that screening tool. Okay, so that screening tool should not just be used for medical calls, that screening tool should be used for every call. And to use an example, so right now is my busy time and I've been out doing a lot of quotes. And I've been meeting people in the grocery stores and stuff like that. And I'm throwing it out there. Every time I see somebody, I'm screening them. Every time. I'm screening from a distance. I could be somebody I saw 2 days ago. I just still screen them. Get in that habit. We're part of this team. Let's build that habit because that's the most important tool that we have. We can't prepare ourselves for something that we don't know is there unless we've screened for it. And that screening should happen for every call. So then moving forward, if we've identified on a smoke alarm call that we've got a COVID, we're going to just pack up a CVA. Full on air.
yeah, so I think the point there is unless you have to pack up, so CO alarm, right? Smoke in a building, fire obviously, and you're going to do that one person initial series of screening questions, then you can tell the rest of the team to come in under what would be normal conditions.
Does that make sense to everybody?
And I think that point is so critical because today there were still only 3 cases in Grey County, which is fabulous. It hasn't increased. But there is already today, some people believe that there is community spread. So whether it's tomorrow, 2 days from now, early next week, middle of next week, there are people that are preparing, they have an assumption are preparing for that eventuality. And so You just have to think exponentially. If there are people that don't know they have any symptoms because they got it through community spread, and they've, you know, gone to the grocery store, whatever ways that they end up transmitting the virus, that's why we have to have that screening process for virtually every call. You know, short of it's a place, full PPE on, go in and do the job, and you'll kill the virus in the fire kind of thing. But that's our mentality.
Everybody good?
Do you want to talk about what needs to be added to these kits when they come in?
Yeah, so what we're gonna add to those kits when they come in, we'll add an extra booty for our heads tonight. But once they come in, they'll be like official label polyurethane head caps, and then we're also gonna add into those the Scott Safety 742 APRs. They'll be put in there too. I sent everybody videos on one of my emails. Everybody have a chance to see? Everybody see them? So watch those videos. I think maybe once they come in, we'll just plan another one of these so that we can all practice using those. They work exactly like our regulators do, how they snap on and everything. We want to make sure that we get in the habit of doing our seal check and everything like that as well too. But those will be added on as soon as they arrive, and we'll let everybody know and plan something else like this. Any other question? Okay, that's pretty much all I got. So what I was going to do then, before we do the final thing of the night screening, is everybody's just going to repack their kit, repack their MRT kit, and we can put them back into service.
You may want to just cover, Jeremy, that this group will be the ones that if there are PPE put on and we do encounter a potential suspected case, and we go through the whole decon process with other people, there'll be somebody from this group that will kind of be the person that assembles it all and works after that decon process. Right?
Yes. Everybody understand that? It consists of a couple parts. There's going to be cleaner and the bleach cleaner and a roll of wipes. We've got a thermometer, and then we've also got one additional kit, the screeners kit. This would be just like a holy cow moment. Somebody's been coughing or something, or for some reason we just want to make sure the screener's got access to the appropriate PPE in the event it's needed. So from there, we got Mr. Charlebois. He's up first.
How are you today?
Good, Patrick. Everybody's been entered into this book. Her last name, Patrick's lucky number 13.
Who did that?
Jeremy, do you have a new temperature thing?
I got this one and the red one. Yeah, this one worked actually really good when I did it in
Try the red one.
Patrick's mouth. You filming, kid?
Don't look.
Yeah.
Okay, ready, go.
Oh.
This one's more accurate.
Oh.
Sorry, Rob.
Rob should be a brand new.
And don't look into the light because you're going to do it in your forehead.
Okay.
Cross-eyed.
So from that, everybody's had a chance to read the COVID screening kit. So this is the very, very first screening that I'm going to do with Patrick. So his screening, and if anybody here is asked, so the way the screening is going to work, or when it needs to happen post any call, because we're going to do it for every call, is that it's going to be the highest ranking firefighter or the most senior firefighter, an officer, or station commander will do the screening. So for everybody, the first screening is going to be done on this initial page 2, where they can sign and date it. And you're just going to simply ask the questions. Do you have any of the following symptoms, Patrick? Do you have a fever, new or existing cough, or difficulty breathing?
No.
Have you traveled internationally within the last 14 days outside of Canada?
No, I have not.
Have you had close contact with a confirmed or probable case of COVID-19?
No. Not to my knowledge.
Have you had close contact with a person with acute respiratory illness who has been outside of Canada in the last 14 days?
No.
Patrick, I need you to step up here so I can take your temperature.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. I'll just try that one again.
Well,
Okay,
actually,
good, thanks, Patrick.
let's hit my punching bag.
So we'll just write your name right here.
Do I have to sign that?
Yeah.
It's a YouTube.
That's pretty last name.
Charlie Hotel Alpha Romeo Lima Echo Bravo Oscar India Sierra.
Wait, I didn't even get that. Okay, good enough. Then you can sign right there. There's a pen for you.
Just write it yourself.
Want me to date it too?
Yeah, we'll do nice legible date because this is your first screen.
Okay.
03/20/2020.
20.
Perfect. So then,
Bye.
yep, later. Thanks, Patrick. Okay, cut. So the